Okay, we want to use the AutoCAD skills that we have learned to do an elevation of this bathroom. So first, we're going to make a copy of the bathroom. So we'll click Copy or C. And we'll go from right to left and case the bathroom, and we'll pick a base point. It doesn't matter where. And we'll place it over here close to our floor plan. And remember, with copy, it will continue to copy until you hit enter. Okay, so there are several things that we don't need to in order to create this elevation. So what we're going to do is use our copy to build the elevations from. So first, we're going to erase these dimensions on our copy. And we don't need these or the laundry room text or the door. We don't need our closet door and shelf and this window to be part of it. We'll come in and erase the dimensions of on our copy. Okay, so we're going to use this to build an elevation. So an elevation is standing in front of a wall and looking at it straight on. So when you do that, you don't see the floor, you just see the edges of the wall. So we're going to start by building the elevation here in the shower. So we're going to draw a line from the inside corner of the shower up. And we need to have our ortho on, remember F8. So we want straight lines. So it doesn't matter how long you make the line as long as it's way above the wall here. We'll do line again and click the opposite corner. Drag our cursor up and click and enter, because remember, line continues to draw a line until you hit enter. Now we need to determine the floor line. So we're going to draw a line, and we're going to draw a line across the room, across the two lines that we made. I made an extra line, so I'll erase it. Okay, so this is our floor line. And so then we're going to say that in this small house, our ceiling are 8 feet. So we're going to offset. So remember, offset is this icon or O. And we're going to put in 8 feet. Enter. Click the floor line and come up to make the ceiling. So this is the floor line. This is the ceiling, the left wall, and the right wall. Now we need to trim these lines that are not needed. So we're going to do trim, which is either TR or this icon. Click the lines that we don't need. So this makes the walls. And I'll erase this, even though it doesn't matter. Okay, so this makes the walls. All right, so we're going to pretend that we're standing here and we're looking at the bathroom wall. So we need to draw the doorway to the shower door. So we're going to draw a line again, going to this piece of wall, click, go straight up to the ceiling, come on this side, and go straight up to the ceiling. Okay. That makes the opening for our shower door. Now, it wouldn't go straight up to the ceiling. So we're going to offset O, or the offset icon. And a doorway in a residential building is 6'8", and we'll offset the floor up. So we will trim the lines that are hanging out outside of the elevation, and then the corners here to make the doorway. So now we have our wall opening where the shower door is. All right, so they need to be on the correct layer. So we'll go to our Match Properties button. We will click the exterior wall here, and we'll click the floor to turn it to that layer. The rest of the lines will be on the interior wall layer. So we're clicking interior wall after we click the Match Properties and select the rest of the lines. In elevations, you want the floor line to be darker so that it reflects that it's the floor line. Okay, so over here in our drawings, when we were laying out the bathroom, is the elevation for the shower door. So we'll move it. So we're going to do move, select the shower door, enter. Excuse me. We're going to click the corner, the bottom left corner. We'll come in. We'll put it on the corner of the doorway. Okay, so we need to move it over. So I'm going to select move, go to the right side, pick this corner and move it to that line. So now it's inside of the shower opening. So that is our first elevation. So that would be the north wall. Since the south wall is the same measurement, we can copy the outside lines of this first elevation we made over, like so. And we're going to be turning around and facing this wall. So on our left will be the side of the sink. So we'll come over. Now that we've got this copied, we'll come over to our elevations and move the side view of the sink up to our elevation. Okay, so we have a problem. This is on the wrong wall. So if we're standing here looking at that elevation, the sink would be over on this side. So what command would we have to use to get this to be flipped? Because right now, this is the front, this is the back. So we would use the mirror command. So we're going to select the mirror command, or MI, select the sink, click the end point of the back of the sink, click, and as long as we have our ortho on, we can pull our cursor below the floor line and then click and say, yes, we want to get rid of the original. Okay, now all we have to do is do move, select the sink, click the back of the sink here and move it towards that wall. Okay, so this is all we would see looking at that wall, if we're standing here looking at that wall. Okay, so now we need to do the other side. So whenever you do elevations, you do all four walls. Even though this side is all it's got, a door, we still need to show the elevation. So in order to be able to use construction lines, and that's what we've been doing, is using construction lines to make the walls, we're going to have to rotate our bathroom, our copy of our bathroom. So we're going to do rotate, select. So we're going to go right to left, select it, enter. We're going to pick the top of it or the side right here at the window, click and pull our cursor up and then click. Okay, so we can do what we did before. This time I'm going to start by creating a floor line. So I'm going to make an arbitrary length line, as long as it's longer than my elevation. Then I'm going to go ahead and offset it 8 foot. And then I'll start by drawing a line from the inside corner. We don't want to do the outside corner because we're standing inside of the room. We wouldn't see the outside of the wall. Okay, so we're going to start here in the shower. We're going to click line again. We're going to do the where the wall separates the shower from the bathroom up to our ceiling. When we get to our ceiling, we get the perpendicular symbol. Click, enter. Then we're going to click line again on this wall, this corner. Click, go up to the ceiling, click, enter. Then we'll click line again and go to the inside wall here. Click up to the ceiling, click and enter. Now we don't need to show a closet because it's not part of the bathroom elevation. Okay, so now we can do trim. And we will start by cleaning the lines out right here. Then we'll click, starting on the right, we'll click all the bottom lines. On the left, we'll click these 2 lines. On the right, we'll click these 2 lines. Okay, so we now have our elevation of what this room would look like. And since we're slicing this wall, we need to show that there is an opening or a header above the doorway of the shower. So we'll offset 6'8", the line up. And then we'll trim the line out of the shower. And before I trim this line, I'm going to do my window. So I'm going to come up here to my window, click the edge of the window up to that 6'8" line. And then I'm going to do line on the other side of the window, click right there and hit enter. And then I'll trim between the facing and the window on the left side, and then on the right side we'll trim, and then we'll come down here and trim below the floor line. Okay. So we're going to come over here And we're going to first, we're going to draw a line from the edge of the toilet, the middle of the toilet. So we'll go here at the back of the toilet, find the midpoint. Oh, snap, click. And it's just go up like this. So that tells me that I need to move. Here's the front of the toilet. Move this toilet by its midpoint over to where that line intersects the floor. When I get the green X, I'm going to click. Okay, now I can erase this line. So now my toilet is in place. And I'm going to offset the top of the window down 36 inches. And then I will trim the lines that come down like this. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with the sink. I'm going to draw a line to midpoint of, find the midpoint of the sink up to the floor. I'm going to come over here. Here's the front of my sink. I'm going to move it by the midpoint over to where that line is. Okay, so here is the front of the shower head. So I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint of the shower head up the wall like this to the ceiling. And then the shower head is center of the shower head is 72 inches from the floor. So we're going to offset 72, the floor up. And then we're going to move our shower head. So if we come over here, here's the sprinkler or the shower head. I'm just going to come to the edge right here. Let's see. I'm going to come right here and click. That's close enough to the center. And then I'm going to put where these two lines intersect. And now I can erase my two construction lines and this line. Okay, so I need to put it on the correct layer. So I'm going to match the properties. So the bottom, the floor line is the exterior wall layer. And then the other walls are the interior wall layers. And our window, we need to match the properties and put the window on the window layer. Okay. So we're going to make our window look more like a window. So first we are going to offset the bottom of the window 1 inch down. And we will extend. So we'll do EX, click the line, click the line. Okay. Now this is the edge of the window here that sticks out. And we're going to offset 1 inch again, this line to the left and this line to the right. And we will do extend, and we will extend the left side to that 1 inch and the right side to that 1 inch. And then we will trim. So I'm going to trim this line and this line, and then this line and this line. So this is the edging of the window. Or the window seat. There's usually molding down here at the bottom. So we're going to offset 3 inches down. And it usually, we're going to offset 1 inch the inside of the frame, right and left like this, and we're going to extend EX. Down to this, and usually it is an angle. So we'll also extend this line down on both sides. And then we'll draw a line from this line down to here. And this line down to here. And then we will trim this out and this out, and then this and this, and then we'll just erase this line and this line, and then we'll trim off the edges like this. Okay, so then we need to we're going to erase this now. Now we need to offset for the frame that's around the window. We need to offset 2 inches, the top down and each side in. And this up. And then we'll do fillet each corner. Okay, so that's the frame. So now we have the window itself. So it's a double hung window. So we're going to divide the window in half first. I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint on the left side to the midpoint on the right side. And usually that is offset down 1 inch. And then we'll offset all around 1 inch up to the right, to the left, and 1 inch down. So we will trim in between here. And we'll do this one. Let's see, I'm going to undo that for a minute. Okay, we're going to trim up here first. We'll fillet it. And fill it down here. Okay, so we will trim in between. And then we'll fillet this. Okay, and then we'll come up here and offset 1 inch up. And then fillet the corners. Yep, that's it. So we'll match our properties. Okay, so that looks like a window. Now, if you wanted it to have the divided lights, then you could draw a line like this, offset it a 1/2 inch, 0.5. I'm still in the line command. Okay, offset 0.5. The line to the right and the line to the left. And we'll erase And then you could do trim, taking it out of the frame. And it could look something like that. Except, yeah, we need to trim in between here. And here. And then we'll match the properties again. Okay. Yeah, that looks more like a window. All right. And then one other thing we haven't talked about, okay, yeah, is hatching. So we're going to switch our current layer from layer 0 to anno pattern. And we're going to come in and hatch because we need to show this is the header and we have cut it in half. We've done a section drawing. So if I did a line and cut through here the middle of the building there, and I would show that we sawed this in half. So I would come over here to my hatch button. I would change my hatch to the ANSI 32, actually ANSI 31. I would change my scale because if I click pick points and put my cursor here, it's just going to be a solid mass. So I need to change my scale. Let's change our scale to 24. Click pick points and click in the middle of this like that. So that shows that the wall has been cut. That there's an opening for the shower door to slide into. Okay, so when you do elevations, you start somewhere and then you go either clockwise or counterclockwise, but you have to be consistent. So we're going to do clockwise. So we started with the north elevation. The next elevation would be the east elevation, which would be the wall where the bathroom fixtures are on. So we're going to draw a line from the edge of our first elevation, making sure our ortho's on, click, and we're going to type in 24, enter, enter. And then we'll move our elevation by the bottom left corner to the end of that line. And then we'll move that 24-inch line by the right corner to the right corner of our east elevation. And now we can move our south elevation by the bottom left corner to the edge of that line. So they all line up and they're pretty. So we're going to move that line by the right corner to the right corner of the south elevation. And that's where the west elevation will live. And we can make a copy because we will see, and we'll do the outer lines, but we'll also see the spacing. So now I can move it, make a copy and move it, make a copy and move it by the left bottom corner to that 24-inch line, end of it. And then hit enter and erase that 24-inch line because I'm done. Now, I have a slight problem. because I'm standing here looking at the door will be on my left and the shower will be on my right. Right here, the shower's on the left and there's no door, of course, but I can mirror. So MI, select the entire elevation, enter, pick the top, the middle of the top, click, drag my cursor down, click, and I want to say yes, I want to get rid of the original. And now we're looking at it, the door will be on the left. So I have to come here and measure DIST, or I can come over here and click the measure and find distance. And I'll measure the corner to the facing, which is 6 inches. I'll come over to my elevation, offset 6 inches, my left wall in. Then my doorway is 36 inches, so I'm going to offset 36 and click that line and go over to the right, click and enter. Again, a doorway is 6'8" in a residential buildings. The doorway or the headroom is 6'8". So I'm going to offset 6'8", the floor up, and then I will fill it each corner. And then I'll have to match the property. Okay. Except I need that door frame to be on the door layer. So I'm going to match the property of my door and make the opening the door layer. All right. So our framing around our window is 3 inches. So we're going to offset 3 inches the doorway up and to the right and to the left. And then we'll have to fillet the corners to close them. And then I always like to draw an angle like this, showing that the framing around the doorway has been mitered. So I need to match the properties. And then we have a pocket door. So I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to show that it's a pocket door. I'm going to draw a line from the midway down. I'm going to match the properties. And then I need to put a little closure. So if I offset 36 inches, that's a doorknob is 36 inches from the floor. And then we're going to offset 2 inches from the edge of the door. And we're going to, so pocket door has a little metal thing that has a groove in it that you can use your finger to close the door with. So we're going to offset 0.5, this center line up, the center line down. And then we're going to erase the middle. And we'll fillet the corners here. Whoops. I'm going to undo that. Gonna fill it. Picking the wrong lines. That's what happens. I'm gonna try the middle here and then this, and then the middle again, then this. And we're going to make it 3 inches wide, and then we'll fill it. And we'll match our properties. And it's kind of an oval, so let's offset 0.25 this down, this up, and right and left like this. And we will trim off these 2 lines and these 2 lines. And then we're going to erase this and this. And then we'll do fill it and create curves like that, except they're a little bit. So I'm going to move this one in 3/8. So 3/8, enter. Then move, click here, and then move it in 3/8, enter. And then we will trim these lines off. So that looks like a pocket door handle. You just has a little groove. You grab your finger and move it. Okay, we could also create a panel door by offsetting 4 inches, this line in, this line down, this line up, and then fill it. And then we'll trim off and erase this. And then we'll match the properties. And then we'll move this over now. We're just going to eye it. Okay, that makes better sense. Okay, so then that looks like a panel door. We'll extend this line down and this line up. That's what they would look like. So that's our door. That has our elevations. We're also going to poche our walls. And we will temporarily turn off our dimensions. So turn off anodims. We're also going to temporarily turn off our appliance layer. So it's a appliance. We'll turn it off. And we're also going to temporarily turn off our plumbing layer. Now, poche is we're going to fill in our wall lines inside the cavity of the wall so that it reads better when you print the floor plan out. So we've got our layer on Anopat. We are going to come to our hatch layer. We're going to pick solid. So we don't have to worry about a scale because it's solid. We'll click pick points and you'll come in between the wall cavity. When you get your cursor in, it highlights, click, and then you will continue around. And this is where you'll find if you have not got walls trimmed accurately, it will not allow you to fill it. And these little pieces right here. Okay, so that's what you will do. And then you will turn back on the layers you turned off. If you forget to turn them on, then you won't have them when you print your drawings. Okay, if we look at our plan, see how much better the plan looks when you've got the walls pocheted on furniture. So it looks completely different. Now, when you we can right click on our furniture tab, click move or copy, create a copy, move to the end, click OK. And then we'll right click on the furniture tab, rename and call it bath elevation. Then click on that tab. And then if you double click inside the viewport, so you got your cursor here in the middle, double click. See, now it says top 2D wireframe, and there's your UCS icon. You're going to do pan. So pan, P enter, will move the sheet. So I'm going to find my elevation, and then I'm going to right click and exit. And we'll look at the scale. It says 3/16. So if we click the 3/16 and look at 1/4 inch is perfect. So I'm going to do pan and move it, center it, right click, exit. Double click or type in PS. Type in PS, you get the triangle again. Or you can come out here in the gray and double click to put it back into paper space. Then I'll do Z enter, A enter, so that I can see. Now, I'll have to change, because this is not the furniture plan anymore. So I'm going to do ED for edit. I'm going to click on my title block, and then I'm going to change furniture plan to bath elevations. This will be ARC 3. And then I change the scale. So I change the scale to 1/4. Click OK. And then enter. And now I've got it updated. So do we have, if we go to tools, tool palettes. Nope. Palettes, design center. ENUS, design center. And they don't have what I'm looking for. Okay. If you come over to our elevation, and we're going to change our current layer to Anno symbols. And we'll come up to circle, click diameter. We'll click right here below this corner. And we want a 1/4 inch circle, so I'm going to put in 0.25, enter. And then I'm going to draw a line from the edge of that, about 1 inch, enter, enter. And I'll move this like that. Move it down just a tad. There we go. And if I do DT, click on the screen right here, and I put in 1/8, enter, enter, and type north elevation. And then I click below that, scale, colon, space, 1/4 inch, space, equal space, 1 foot dash 0 inches. Enter, enter. Okay, so I'm going to move this down a bit. Turn off my ortho temporarily. Move my north. And then I will click and drag my cursor past the O like that. And then I'll do DT. Click inside of my circle. And I will do, let's leave it at 1/8, enter, enter, and then type 1, enter, enter. And then I'll have to move that, center it in there. Okay. Now, I can copy this symbol I just made using the corner of the elevation to the next elevation, to the next elevation, to the next one. So each elevation gets labeled. So now I can do add, click on this number and make it 2. Click on this number, make it say 3. And click on this and say, make it say 4. Then I can come over here and click north elevation. And take out north and make it say east. And then I can, whoops. Then I'll come over here and click on this one and change north to say south. And then this north to say west. And I can also move my numbers so they look a little more even. Okay, so each elevation gets labeled because you're going to go to your plan, and in the center here, so we're going to make a symbol for that. So we're going to go up here to circle, click on the screen and do 1/4. And we are going to do a triangle. So we're going to switch the rectangle to a polygon. We're going to put in 3, enter. And we're going to specify the center of the circle. And it's going to say inscribe in circle. Okay. And that looks good. So we're going to draw a line now from the center like that. So we're going to extend that line to each edge of that triangle, do trim, and get rid of this. Then we're going to mirror that. So we're going to do MI, click the top part of the triangle, click the midpoint, and we're going to turn our ortho back on and go like this, enter. Then we're going to make a copy of the two triangles. And then we'll rotate those down like this, and then we'll move and then we are going to trim. So first we're going to erase these two, this cross. Then we're going to fillet each corner of the triangle like this. And then we will do hatch. It's set at solid, so we'll pick points. And now we have a elevation symbol. So we're going to do DT. Click on the screen right above this first triangle. Enter, enter, and then I'm going to put 1, enter. Then I'm going to click over here and put 2, enter. I'm going to click here and do 3, enter. And I'm going to click over here and do 4, enter, enter. And then I'll move them. So turn off my ortho for a few minutes. And we'll copy one of the numbers inside of the circle. Okay, so the numbers at each triangle refer to the elevation. So number 1 on our bath elevations is the north elevation. So we have 1 right here, then went 2, 3, and 4. The number in the middle refers to what sheet in the set of construction documents they could find the elevations for that bathroom. So it's in ARC 3. So we need to do ED, change that 1 to a 3, and then hit enter, enter. And then we'll move that 3 so it's, a little more centered. And so now we move this into the room. We'll put it about right. Whoops. Okay, so I undid that. I'm going to do move again. In this case, I'm going to click out here outside the screen. So, because I caught an O snap a few minutes ago. So I'm going to click about right here, and then I'll move the word bath. I'll have to go to the model space and move the word bath up here. Okay, so if I go back and look at the plan view, bath is now out of the way. I can go back to my model. And the 10-foot too is kind of in the way. So if I just click on my elevation and find this little grip, I can let's see. Yeah, I moved it out of the way. So I moved the elevation, the numbers for the elevation. So now it's not getting confused with this one. And I can move the one down a little bit more too. Okay, so if I'm a contractor and I'm looking at this plan and I'm wondering what this room looks like, I can say, oh, there's an elevation symbol showing me that I can find the elevations on page 3. So anytime you have an elevation, you'll have a symbol. So this one, there's four elevations. If we were doing an exterior elevation, we could do copy and we can click and come out here and we can erase. Well, we'll have to explode this first because it's a polygon. Erase. And we'll draw a line from this edge down to the edge of the circle, up to the edge of the circle, and then we could come in and hatch it. And then we'd have a single elevation. Or if I had, like in the case of this kitchen, I would just show this wall and this wall. Now, I'm going to erase this. Okay, so we've talked about hatching. We can now erase this copy because we no longer need it. If we were doing this kitchen elevation, I'm going to come over here and copy. And the hatch is all one thing. So I'm going to erase it, erase these elevations and this door. Okay. So if I was doing this elevation, I'm going to rotate. Turn my ortho back on. If I was doing this elevation, so I'm going to do the floor line first. I'm going to go back to layer 0. Offset it 8 feet. I'm going to draw a line from the inside corner of my kitchen up. And I'm going to draw a line from here to here. And I'm just going to go from the center of that opening up. Okay, and then I'm going to get rid of this. All right. So I can come in. Here's the stove with the hood and the refrigerator. So I'm going to just draw. I'm just going to put the refrigerator on right now. move it by its midpoint to that line, and then move it up so the feet touch the floor. Okay, so I don't really want to take the time to show this entire wall. And because all I'm interested in is showing the cabinet installers where the cabinets go. So first I'm going to fillet my corners here. And I'm going to match my properties. Now, I can't leave the wall like this because I need to show that the wall does continue, but I'm not going to show you the entire wall. So what they do is they do a break symbol. So I'm going to go to Express Tools, and here's my break line symbol. So I'm going to click the break line symbol, and if you pull it straight out of the box, it will say size, I think maybe it's a 1/2 inch and an inch. So the size of so I can put S enter for the size, and I want to say 4. And then the extension, so I'm going to put E, enter for extension, and I want 3. So now it's saying specify the first point. So I'm going to go up here to the top to the ceiling. Then I'm going to go to the floor line. And then halfway in between, I'm going to find the halfway mark, and I'm going to click. And now, so now I can erase this line, the old line. See how it has that jog, that diagonal line? That shows that the wall continues on, but it's not important to show that as it is showing where the cabinets go. And I will just match the properties. So I'll go back to home, match the properties of it to this interior wall line. So that indicates that the wall continues on, but it just wasn't important to show for this elevation. So that is something on Express Tools. Never really have understood why it's there. It really should be with the, draw tools or dimensions or someplace like that, in my opinion. Okay, so that is elevations in a nutshell, and save your work, and thank you.